Good afternoon, and welcome to our online audience. Welcome to the Stevens Building at NIU in the School of Theater and Dance. I'm Dr. Gibson Shima. We are gathered here to commemorate a grim anniversary, which is tomorrow, the third anniversary of the invasion of Ukraine by Russian forces. In the weeks following the invasion in 2022, playwrights from Ukraine wrote plays and shared them with the world through the worldwide Ukrainian Playwrights Reading Project. And we here in the School of Theater and Dance staged our first readings 3 years ago in the weeks following the invasion. And those plays have been written in the past few weeks of the war. And the following year, we read a series of short plays that had been written during that first year of the war. Last year, we read Natal'ya Vorozhbit's Bad Roads. And this year, we'll read Green Channels by Natal'ya Vorozhbit, which was written this past year. And so through the medium of the theater, we here at the School of Theater and Dance have been following this conflict and giving voice to the people of Ukraine through the medium of theater. And so we plan to do that again today with our reading of Green Channels. Please consider donating to the Ukrainian Crisis Relief Fund, and we've included links where you can do that on the live stream and also on our posters. So thank you so much, and without any further ado, we'll bring on our readers.
Channels by Natal'ya Vorozhbit. Waiting in line to go to Europe. Sometime in March 2022, people, mostly women, stand in a tight line going through a customs checkpoint. The cramped channel is maintained by railings on both sides. It is odd to be standing in a narrow, artificial corridor amidst a wide, open field. It's cold, wild geese fly overhead. Some in the line look up at them enviously.
The geese are returning from Ukraine for warmer climates. Don't they read the news? Hey geese, go back! Fly back to Europe! Damn, one just pooped right on my jacket.
For good luck.
Next you'll tell me that bombs fall for good luck.
Meatballs fell on me from the top shelf in the train, right on my head. I've been on the road for a week and my unwashed head still smells like meatballs.
I was wondering what that stink was.
Okay, well maybe it's from your bag.
I only have personal belongings in there. Listen, things are tough enough as it is. Don't start fighting.
Why would I fight with her? I've never seen her before and I'll never see her again.
Next, your documents.
The documents of the old refugee from Cherniv are looked at over with great interest.
What's this national symbol? There is no such country.
Oh, it's a Soviet passport. That's where I'm from. And why not? It was good enough for me to get my pension with. Doesn't it look like me? Because I was young once. The boys used to love me. Now no one loves me. Only my cats don't care if I'm old or young. Cats love me. What are you going to do with me? They let my neighbor through without documents. Her house burned down along with her passport. My house is still standing, but I couldn't sleep anymore because of those bombs. My heart would leap out of my chest and I felt sick. What don't you like about my passport? Give it back and I'll go back. My house is still standing.
You can go. Next,
Housewife approaches.
are these your children? Do you have the father's permission for the children to leave?
Their father kicked us out of the country. He said, go, I don't want to see you here. Go to Europe because I only think about you when you are here. We have been traveling from Kharkiv for a week. First, 26 roadblocks, then 5 shelters, then a bus. Now you. After you, finally, Europe. I've only ever been in Egypt with my husband.
The father's permission must be notarized.
I knew a notary public, but he's a sniper now. He doesn't notarize anything anymore. My husband was a programmer and now you won't believe it, he's a spotter. Our dad is a spotter. Can you imagine that? I'd make a joke about it, but not in front of the children. These are my children. Here are their birth certificates. These are stains from meatballs. Oh, do you mind if I change the baby's diaper? I know what's in there. Light yellow fluid from pumpkin puree. What other evidence do you need?
You can go. Next,
Manicurist approaches, silently hands over her documents. Customs officer seems to have no questions.
Go on. Next.
Actress from Kiev approaches. She is pretty, tired, and has many suitcases.
I've seen you somewhere.
I'm an actress. You might have seen me in the movies.
Well, my life here is a circus every day. Have you been through our customs lately?
I traveled a lot before the war, but always by plane. This is the first time in your customs. My car was trapped for 3 days and they told me to take a bus. They said it would be quicker, so I did. Because why would I need a car in Europe? I have lots of friends there. They'll meet me and take me everywhere. Actually, I'm not escaping anything. I actually got a new offer, making a film, would you believe it? With Robert De Niro. Everyone wants to work with the Ukrainian actresses right now, with me. But I'm not interested in that right now. All I care about is victory. I will use all the influence I have for the benefit of Ukraine. Some will defend the country from the inside. We'll defend it from the outside. I've never wanted to go to Europe. You can write that down. I've traveled all over the world. I've been asked to stay everywhere I've been.
Give the lady some water. Does anyone have an antidepressant?
Who, me? I'm fine. I'm tougher than anyone. I never panic. Calm down yourself. Let me go.
Actress is led away, given a seat. They calm her down. She breaks loose again, calms down again. The line bends around her.
I know your face. I've seen you somewhere.
My boy, you maybe saw me in the movies. I played the poet Teliha and Lessa Ukrainian in the TV series.
No, I don't watch movies. I have 3 children.
Maybe in a yogurt advertisement then.
I won't quit until I remember.
Come on.
Touch her with her hands.
Thank you. I'm worried about the train. How do I find my train? I don't speak any Polish. None.
Where are you going?
What do you mean, where? There. The volunteers will explain everything. That's all I hear. Volunteers. Volunteers. Who are these people? Who pays them? No one. They do everything for free. Holy people. Saints. God bless them. But who pays them?
Lady, move your bag, please. It's crowded. No one can get through.
Don't touch my bag.
Why are you shouting all the time? What's your problem? Do you have a baby in there?
No. No, I don't have a baby in there. I have my things. Clothes, medicine.
Why are you shouting all the time?
Nerves. It's just my nerves. Aren't you nervous?
Why should I be nervous? My apartment was bombed. I was nervous before because I had to make payments on it. Repairs had to be done, but that's all behind me. Now I'm calm. Move your bag.
Cab lover silently moves her bag.
Put your hand in there. I don't want to. Don't be afraid. Put it in there. Good God! What's the matter? That's Mirka and Dork in there. My cats. Where? In my bag. And that cow went and stepped on them. Why aren't they moving? They're sleeping. Those damn volunteers who led me out to Cherniv refused to let me take my pets. So I put these 2 to sleep in my bag. We've been traveling for 3 days like this. Asleep for 3 days? Are they alive? It's all right. I've been a nurse my whole life. They let you through with pets in here? They didn't even ask for people. I don't know anything about that. I'm afraid of everything. And I still have 3 little ones back at home. Barsik, Zuza, and Karina.
I'm so sorry. Everyone's nerves are on edge. Look, there goes a man with 10 stitches.
Those gray shaggy things? I thought they were sheep.
You turned gray too after spending 3 days in a cage. It's all right though. I'll give them a good grooming and people will snap them up all over Canada for $1,000 a piece.
I've been with him ever since Kiev. Now that's one who really stinks.
How can you get out? You aren't 60 yet.
Thank you for the compliment. But I'm a Canadian citizen.
This man is a Canadian citizen. Imagine that. You married. My husband is in the army and I'll soon be a widow. I need to find a father for my children.
This guy is a Canadian citizen? He looks like my late husband.
Canadian citizen, yeah. I'm Ukrainian, but I just got my citizenship. I took out a loan there at a low interest and invested in construction in Ukraine. Now I have to pay off my loans. The price on Spitzes in Ukraine dropped after February 24th. They're $300 a piece. In Canada, they cost thousands. This is my 3rd trip this month, but I'll need to make 40 to settle my debts. Is there anyone from Buka here by chance?
All look at Manicurist.
I heard that one of your kennels was bombed and that the owner was shot. There were hundreds of Spitzes running around all over town among the people. Do you know anyone who might have taken them?
Oh, go fuck yourself. Some people worry about war, others have no worries. Are you ashamed to profit off of misery?
If it comes to that, I'm rescuing animals. The locals just chained them up in their yards. Can you imagine a spitz on a chain? They'll all die.
So you're also a volunteer?
He's an asshole. Housewife looks happily at actress.
I remember now. That's right. You attended our mayor's funeral.
Is that so? Your mayor was abandoned, God rest his soul. I never knew him.
I'm telling you, I have a very good memory for faces. And I saw you on the election posters all over Kharkiv. You campaigned for it.
Oh, come on now, don't shout. That's not true. I voted for another party.
I have a good memory for faces.
And I remember well that I didn't do it.
Manicurist covers her ears with her hands.
Just don't shout. This girl is her Luca. She's always quiet. Who knows what she's been through? Honey, don't you have a home?
Manicurist covers her eyes and ears.
She's still a child. She has bruises here on her hands and her neck. Did they beat you, rape you, torture you? Did the bureaus do it? Is this your child? Don't touch me. Are you claustrophobic? Anxiety test? Let me show you an exercise for anxiety test. You need to take a deep breath.
Housewife seems to have remembered something.
I remember now.
Leave me alone.
How can I leave you alone? We were standing in the same line. I remember now. You started in one of those Russian TV series.
She's crazy. I thought you didn't watch TV.
Why? I watched Russian television before my second child was born. I'm from Kharkiv. You played a social worker in a serial about Crimea, about how the Russians stole Crimea.
That's not even funny. I saw you in that too. Was she the one that betrayed our army? I remember.
All Ukrainian actors were acting in that Russian shit. They're all guilty.
Why did any of you watch that crap? I never played a Russian agent. I played the Ukrainian poet Leontovych. I played Olga Kobyshkia in the theater, Lena Koskina, Marko Yovich, Yura Trumenko.
Manicurist rushes at her with her fists. The others join in. They beat and kill the actress. Manicurist attacks her with special cruelty. In Line for Death 1, a film shoot. Shooting of a scene in a film about the poet and journalist Elena Teliha. In 1942, Kiev, the German occupation. Elena's apartment in Kiev is a mess. Her friend, the poet Olylich, has come to say goodbye.
Are you going somewhere?
No, it's just messy here. I don't have time to do household chores.
It's too bad.
I had a cleaning lady. She was shot on Tuesday.
Too bad you're not going anywhere.
Yeah, I heard you're going to Europe. There's a lot of us there.
The Germans have started arresting nationalists. You need to leave too.
I'm not leaving Kiev for immigration again. I can't do it. I was of no use to anyone there. I was only unhappy there.
You were alive there.
No, I'm alive here.
Please, at least don't go to the Writers' Union on February 9th. The Germans are preparing an ambush. I know that for a fact.
People count on me. I can't avoid going just because I fear being arrested. Eventually they too will be arrested. I can't run away. Someone might say she abandoned us in a dangerous moment, but faced with danger, she spoke of patriotism and sacrifice. When I don't come back, don't forget me. And when I die, know that I did my duty till the end.
Actress suddenly stops and turns to
Should
director.
we ask the screenwriter to rewrite the text somehow? People don't talk like that.
This is a quote from Olylich quoted Teliha in his memoirs.
Well, he didn't record it on a tape recorder. He gave it literary flair.
Okay. Say it in your own words.
Thank you.
Lights, camera, action.
Please, at least don't go to the Writers' Union on February 9th. The Germans are preparing an ambush. I know that for a fact.
Leah, are you crazy? I just told everyone we have to stay and fight, that anyone who flees is a traitor. And now here I am in Europe? What a double standard! No, my friend, I'll stay. You know perfectly well that I supported the Germans in the beginning, so if they kill me, that might be my justification in the future. Maybe then they'll publish my poetry.
Cut! That's not what's in the script at all.
But isn't it important to remember that Teliha collaborated with the fascists and was an anti-Semite?
Maybe. Let's mention that you starred in a Russian TV serial about the FSB.
When the Russians kill me, my guilt will be diminished. Just like Teliha, by the way, whom the Germans killed.
You ruined another take. And we're running out of time. By the way, your next scene is your execution at Bob and Young.
Will you have time to prepare?
There wouldn't be any problem if we were doing normal shoots instead of half an episode a day.
So how did you do it on the Russian series?
You mean, don't I have the right to my own opinion anymore?
No. Go get ready for the execution scene.
In line for intimacy, Housewife sits in front of a laptop screen in an intimacy room, in a Viennese storeroom filled with ski equipment. She pulls down her jeans, keeps her sweater on. We do not see the screen, but only hear a man's voice from somewhere.
Take it off already.
Housewife takes off her sweater and t-shirt. She is cold.
It's cold.
Imagine me
I
hugging.
can't imagine it. It's probably even colder there in your trench.
Can't get it out when you remind me of the trenches. We're at home in bed. We locked ourselves away from the kids. Let your imagination go.
Can't get in the mood if I imagine our children on the other side of the wall. We need to send them to grandma's.
That's a plus. You can finally relax and come. You shot so loud the neighbors will stop fighting.
For that, you're gonna have to lick me real good.
Have I ever refused? Spread your legs.
The door to the storeroom is held closed by a chair. Someone yanks on it from time to time, trying to open it. From the other side, you can hear, "Mom, open up. Marina, try to defrost the fish. Where's the plastic wrap? Marina, there's already a line out here," etc.
Are those our kids?
Strangers, don't let them distract you.
The lover's dialogue is appropriate to the situation. She moans, he moans. Gunshots and explosions are heard somewhere in the distance.
Are you being shot at there?
It's far away. Don't be distracted.
They try not to be distracted. We hear them moaning, we hear someone tugging on the door, and we hear gunshots and explosions through the laptop. Housewife masturbates. She's almost there. She's about to come. Soldier is too. Finally, she comes. Somewhere in the laptop, a moan is interrupted by a particularly strong explosion. A scream, a blow, a terrible post-apocalyptic silence sets in. Housewife comes to her senses. She addresses the man somewhere in her laptop.
Yura, I'm done. Are you done? Did you finish? Where are you? Do you hear me, Yura? Yura!
The laptop screen is covered in blood. Housewife slams her laptop shut like a coffin lid, covers her face with her hands, and sits there naked.
How long are you going to take? There's a line out here.
A room in a shelter. There are many occupied beds, and many women sit in it. Some rustle in plastic bags in search of medicine. Some eat from bowls. Some sleep, some cry, and some scroll through the news. Suitcases stuffed full and strollers with babies replace bedside tables. Actress, cat lover, and manicurist sit by the storeroom door, waiting in line for intimacy.
She's been in there for half an hour, as if she's the only one that needs it. I don't need it anymore, and I neuter my pants. I don't need sex either. I just want to be alone. I just want to not see all of you. I'm tired of this refugee life, all of these conversations about prices and news, and I can't be alone. Then why did you get in line? This is for intimacy. I always stand in line, just so I won't be alone.
So you'll let me go ahead of you?
Of course. I'm next though. I was here first.
Okay, we're tired of you too.
Cat lover reads the news on her smartphone and declaims it loudly.
In occupied Kherson, the Russian army began compiling lists of local residents to whom they would hand out 10,000 rubles each, so that later they could hold a referendum based on these lists. May they all choke on our Kherson. How much is 10,000 hryvnias? What do you care about hryvnias? Count it in euros. My blood pressure always goes up when I convert euros into hryvnias. It's like an ordinary loaf of bread costs 100 hryvnias. How many rubles is 100 hryvnias? I used to love rubles. Salami was 2.20 per kilo. A half of a Ukrainian loaf of bread was 7 kopecks. If 10,000 rubles is the same as it used to be, everybody will vote Russian in that referendum. 10,000 rubles is 120 euros. Oh my, so little. There are protests today at the Russian embassy. Anybody going? You mean a protest against these prices? Good God! What is this about the prices all the time?
Canadian citizen enters from the kitchen with a knife in his hands, knocks on the storeroom door.
Marina, just tell me this. Should I defrost the fish or boil the sausages?
Don't distract her, otherwise she'll never finish. As of the evening of April 2nd, approximately 280 local residents have been found dead and buried in mass graves in liberated Bucha. Most of the victims' hands are tied behind their backs. Women show signs of rape. The city was occupied by Russian troops for nearly a month. Law enforcement officers discovered a Russian torture chamber in the basement of one of Bucha's children's health centers. Finally, What was there to do for so long?
Marina, so is it fish or sausages?
Fish.
Don't spoil your appetite, Marina.
Housewife doesn't listen to him, gobbles down chocolate, crackers, sausages, and French cheese. Another notification rings in Cadilla's smartphone. She reads again.
Air raid alert. Go to shelter immediately. Fifth alarm today.
Manicurist abruptly stands and goes immediately to the storeroom, clutching her purse to her chest. The storeroom door is jammed from the other side, but Manicurist manages to open it. Everyone looks at her in surprise.
That's in the Kiev region. We are in Vienna.
Manicurist glares at them and goes into the storeroom. Naked actress jumps out. She looks for her clothes and hastily gets dressed.
What? Oh, it was my turn. Approximately 25 girls and women between the ages of 14 and 24 were systematically raped by Russian soldiers during the occupation in the basement of a house in Bucha in the Kiev region. 9 of them are pregnant. You haven't had enough? No? You want more?
I remember where I saw you.
I'm sick and tired of it. Get lost.
You played a sniper. You killed my husband.
Housewife throws down cheese and sausage, rushes at actress, and tries to strangle her. A struggle ensues between them.
I left 3 cats in Ukraine. Zuza, Barsik, and Karina. They're all neutered and very well behaved. How do they say it? Animals are better than people. Animals are better than people.
In the same storeroom with ski equipment, Manicurist sits in fetal position and listens to the sounds of sirens, cars, the slamming of doors, and the cries of a child. Everything now sounds as it never has to her before. She trembles with fear. Someone pulls hard on the door. It opens. She sees a large, dark male figure. He hides in the corner.
Are you here? Don't be afraid. Are you here? I will help you. Don't be afraid. I am a doctor. I am a widower.
Austrian citizen looks for Manicurist in the dark, but does not find her because she's hiding from him. He gets tired of searching, speaks to the audience.
I saw them on the embankment, the mother and daughter, although they looked like sisters. In our country, women don't give birth so early. The girl was learning to ride a skateboard. So touching how her mother would catch her. Then the girl sped up and was carried away towards the river. There's a rather high embankment there and no barrier. She was flying straight toward the water, but I managed to catch hold of her and hold her tightly until the woman reached us. She was terribly grateful. She thanked me and everything, then something frightened her and she abruptly led the child away. I understood that they were from Ukraine. They had those symbols on them, on their hands, everywhere. They're so funny, these Ukrainians. They walk around wearing these symbols all the time. I understand, of course. Anyway, they quickly disappeared, but I had a warm feeling inside of me for several days. I had a desire to protect them. I regretted not catching up with them, not getting to know each other. I am a widower. I have a free apartment.
He held her for a very long time, holding her close to him. He really latched on to her. I thanked him and tried to take her away, but he held on to my daughter. I had to pull her away from him by force. I could see desire in his eyes. I don't know how to describe it. Desire not to let go. Of course, we got away from there, even though he looked to be decent. He had a very nice face. A son-in-law, like that would be my mother's dream.
Then one morning, I ran into her in a coffee shop. I was having my coffee. She came in, ordered a flat white, but she didn't wait for it and left. She was very nervous. I picked up her coffee and followed her. I don't know why, just impulse. I'm not a pervert. I wanted to give her coffee. She was moving so fast, I could barely keep up. She was wearing a long cloak and was running straight ahead using the navigator on her phone. I threw her coffee away because I spilled it 3 times. It was like I was stalking her. I understand that now, but I was so curious to know what she was looking for, where she was going. Maybe it was something about her child, her kindergarten, or a hospital. Maybe I could be of use to her.
No one there is ever in a hurry, and this peaceful feeling spreads over the city. You order coffee and you wait forever for it. We had settled into a bedroom community, a place where all the temporary refugees settle. I'm not complaining, it's all very comfortable there. Everyone has a separate bed and a bedside table. But no one is in a hurry. It's as as if everyone died. And they're in no hurry. That morning, I had to go to the center of town. I left my baby with the other refugees and went. But I am topographically challenged, and I got on the wrong tram. Everybody laughs at me, and I'm the only one who was able to get lost in Vienna with the GPS. That's why I was late, and I couldn't wait for that coffee.
I was falling behind by now. I even thought of giving up, but she suddenly slowed down near Schwarzenbergplatz. Calmly and confidently, she approached the monument to the Soviet soldier and stood in front of him. Out of nowhere, several more women, also in raincoats, approached her, and they all stood in a row. They looked at the monument as if they were waiting for something. And then, at the same moment, they tossed off their cloaks and stood there naked. Their breasts and crotches were covered in red paint, which I suppose was to imitate blood. They stood there naked in front of the monument to the Soviet soldier. They looked into his stone eyes. Children and old people were walking in the park. It looked terrible and sinister. I was frightened, actually. It's like I was hypnotized, as if a disturbance had shot through all our calm peacefulness, as if they had violated our city with their grief. But she, that woman, was beautiful, and I understood her pain. Fortunately, the police were always on duty near this monument, and the women were detained, because this is Stalin's gift to the Austrian people. We honor our history.
They raped me one by one for I don't know how many days. They said, "We will rape you so much that you will never want sex again. But you will never give birth to a Ukrainian." They were always on something, some kind of drug, and no pleas or appeals worked on them. Nothing human. At a certain point, I stopped shouting and pleading. I just separated myself from my body and watched as they raped me with a light bulb from the ceiling in the basement. There was this little blue lamp there. I held onto it like tightly. The last time was particularly cool. But you don't need details, do you? They used bottles. They put out cigarettes on my body. They anticipated their retreat. Before fleeing, they set the mattress on fire and locked me inside. Luckily, there was very damp and there was no air. The mattress smoldered, but it never caught fire. I got a little queasy, and because of the smoke, I saw deceased relatives from my grandmother's photo album. They came to life and leaned over me. When I came to my senses, I was in the hospital. My daughter was with her grandmother in the village all this time. She is fine. I did not call them and did not tell anyone about what was done to me. But when I saw my mother, I could see in her eyes that she knew everything that had happened. As if she had been that little blue lamp. I didn't know where the connection is. Maybe it's through the uterus. When I gave birth to my daughter, it seemed to me at first that I had given birth to myself, that she was me and I was her. But as time passed, I separated from her. And when my mom looked at me after that basement ordeal, I felt that she was me. It's a terrible feeling that I don't want to feel. I want to be separate. That's why I went to Europe. Not because of fear, but because of my mother. I don't know what else to say. I am very grateful to the Europeans who support us in these difficult times. I am very grateful that they help us and remain strangers to us. That they have polite, indifferent looks. Thank you for that.
I haven't been this aroused in a long time. I mean, my desire to help. I am a doctor. Let me help.
No. No, just don't touch me. Hands off. Please.
It grows very dark. Something is happening in the dark. Only restrained weeping can be heard. In line for news, restrained weeping. Light overtakes darkness. Weeping Ukrainian women in long nightgowns appear from under blankets. They hold phones in their hands. They scroll the news incessantly, as if they are striking a fire or performing a ritual of some kind. Finally, a big screen lights up above them, and the news comes on. We hear various anchors' voices speaking on screen.
National flags were hoisted in 30 settlements in Kiev region, where Ukraine was regained firm control. The Russian occupiers have also retreated from the Zermatt highway. However, at the moment, it is impossible either to drive on the highway or return to Kiev's suburban cities. It is dangerous. Community leaders urge residents to wait before returning. Russian soldiers fire on people standing in line for bread in one of the suburbs of Kiev. The shelling happened Wednesday around 10 a.m. At least 10 civilians were killed as a result of the shelling.
The first exhumed corpse in the city of Zion was discovered with a rope around its neck, with severed limbs. The head of the Kharkiv prosecutor's office reported.
Russia repeated in Izium what it did in Bucha. Zelensky called on the world to react to the crimes of the occupiers.
In a speech during which he supported the notion of annexing the occupied territories of Ukraine to Russia, Vladimir Putin threatened to use nuclear weapons.
As a result of a massive Russian missile attack on Ukraine on October 10th, law enforcement agencies confirmed the death of 14 people. Another 97 people were injured.
Number of victims of the Russian missile attack on a residential building in Kiev has increased to 5.
An air alert is declared throughout Ukraine. Fighter jets have taken off from Belarus.
The largest cylindrical aquarium burst in Berlin.
Ukraine's power system is in a precarious situation. Emergency blackouts continue in 10 regions and recovery may take a long time. In Kiev, all 3 categories are almost completely turned off simultaneously. Nothing is working according to schedule, and there may be no light for 10 hours.
U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken on Wednesday officially announced a new $1.85 billion military aid package for Ukraine, which also includes the transfer of the Patriot air defense system.
An important strategic task for us is to create reserves and prepare for a war that may begin in February, at best in March, and at worst at end of January. It might not start in Donbass, but rather in the Kiev region, originating in Belarus. But I do not rule out an invasion from the south, said General Valery Zelensky in an interview with The Guardian.
Football fans rioted in Paris overnight.
In the north of partially recognized Kosovo, local Serbs have built barricades to protest Pristina's decision to re-register automobiles.
Elon Musk has launched a poll asking whether he should step down as head of Twitter.
Women nervously scroll through the news. They press buttons. A disgruntled murmur rises among them.
What fans? What's going on? Where's the real news?
What are they thinking? How can we just switch to other topics like that?
All suddenly notice other viewers watching the news with them.
Serbs bearing Russian flags stormed the border with Kosovo.
Stop it. Stop it immediately.
Don't listen to them. Don't let yourself be distracted, please.
Don't switch away from Ukraine.
Netflix said it plans to build a state-of-the-art production facility worth more than $900 million and create thousands of jobs at a former U.S. military base on the New Jersey coast. The women read the news aloud from their phones, shouting over the news anchors on the TV screen. They try to attract the audience's attention to themselves.
That night, Russia attacked Ukraine with approximately 7 Iranian-made drones. Air defense forces managed to shoot down 60 of them. As a result of the shelling, critical infrastructure, more than half of the population remains without electricity and heating.
The sale of wines and spirits at Sotheby's auctions in 2020 fell by 22% to $92 million against $118 million in the previous year.
More than 300 children remain under fire in Pamplin. Police urge parents to let everyone be evacuated. In Warsaw, city security officials prevented a suicide attempt by a Ukrainian refugee. The woman was in a hysterical state and was walking straight into head-on traffic on the highway. Security guards removed her from the road and, with the help of an interpreter, learned that the woman wanted to end her life after learning that her 20-year-old daughter had died as a result of military operations.
General Zelensky says he knows he can beat Russia, but he needs resources. 300 tanks, 600, 700 armored personnel carriers, 500 howitzers, 300 tanks, 600 to 700 armored personnel carriers, 500 howitzers, 300 tanks, 600 to 700 armored personnel carriers, 500 howitzers.
The women speak in unison, as if chanting a mantra or a spell, shouting down the rest of the world's news. In line for impressions, or TPO, temporarily displaced persons.
D'Orsay, the Pinoteca, the Albertina, the Louvre, the Centre Pompidou, Uffiz's Gallery, the Belvedere, the Acropolis, the Picasso and Leopold Museums, the cathedrals of Notre Dame and St. Peter, the Holocaust Museum in Auschwitz, the Music Museum and the Water Museum. All of these are free for temporarily displaced Ukrainians, for us, as is public transport. Why do you sit here? Why do you lie around like half-bent smartphones? Get on a free bus and go to a free museum or theater for free. See some masterpieces. Expand your horizons. Disconnect from your Wi-Fi. Don't read the news. You have a unique opportunity to live a new life, but you just sit here waiting for handouts. Do you know, are they going to increase our financial support? And how long will public transport be free? You don't want to go to a museum? Go to rallies or demonstrations. I'll send you a schedule of events in support of Ukraine. Be useful, be aware. I'd rather you find me a veterinarian who loves Ukrainian cats. I need free vaccination. Does anything interest you besides the cats? No. Lord, I speak in the European Parliament. I articulate our values. I tell the world the truth about Russian aggression. I act in films about Holodomor and Stalin's repressions. I cancel Russian culture all over the world. And you all lie flat on your backs so that water would flow beneath you. Alina, you are a beautiful young woman. I don't understand why you don't go on dates. You've been hurt, but at least go to interviews. Get a job. You have such a valuable profession. I'll be the first to make an appointment with you for a manicure. People will be lined up to visit you. Ukrainian manicurists are the best.
I went on one interview. I even put on a suit. There was a Russian man sitting next to me reading Davinsky on the subway. I moved when I saw that. Then a woman got on the complete station. It's difficult to describe her. She was tall and thin, and despite the summer heat, she was wearing a jacket. She had skinny, dirty fingers with long, overgrown nails hanging helplessly at the sides of a body like two ropes. But the main thing was, she had no face. And it was instantly overcome with dread, and I saw her move towards me, so I instinctively got up and ran to the other side of the car, but just as I stood up, the train car lurched, and she was sent careening in my direction. In order to remain standing, she grabbed my shoulder with a firm and powerful hand. It was cold and bony, just like the rest of her. She dug her dirty claws into my skin. And I can still feel her metallic clutch. I'm sure I still have a bruise from it. I'm afraid to look in the mirror. I passed out and I was late for my interview.
The women carefully examined her bag.
There's nothing there, don't worry.
You'll think of anything to avoid going. Maybe you just don't want to work.
I don't.
Well, and you, Nina, you're a widow. Why don't you go on a date?
I'm still in mourning, my husband just died.
You need to find a father for your children. Let me register you on Tinder.
I don't speak the language
Why don't you take some free courses?
because I have 3 children.
Why don't you find them a new father?
Because I'm in mourning. My husband just died and his body hasn't been exchanged for yet. So he's considered missing, and it's like I'm neither a widow nor married. Anyway, what the hell?
Why do you?
It's basically none of your business.
The Vienna Opera House, the Berg Theater, the Gorky Theater, the Oda, Les Comédies Françaises, the Scalia, the Natalia Theater, the Schaubuna, the Volkstheater.
Housewife, cat lover, and manicurist look at each other and simultaneously, but independently, rush at actress. They kill her. Bring her with her lifeless body.
Teliha has more architectural monuments than any other city in Europe. Teliha has 7 theaters and delicious cheap bread.
Kharkiv is the capital of constructivism, and it's the biggest city in Europe. I saw my house burning and my husband bleeding. How are they gonna surprise me with their museums? But I did register for Tinder, just in case. I have 3 dates next week. Could you lend me your address?
Of course, if you don't mind that I came off of a dead woman. I mean,
Don't exaggerate.
as soon as I crossed the border, felt like my life was over.
You love to dramatize everything.
The camera stealer.
Housewife finishes her off with one blow. In line for death 2. On location for the making of a film about Stefan Bandera in exile, Munich, October 1959. Stefan Bandera, pseudonym Stefan Popple, is in an embroidered jacket, walks through an autumnal park with a Spitz on a leash. Stefan Mudyrk, head of intelligence for the Organization of Ukrainian Nationalists, catches up with him, follows him for some time.
My friend and mentor, shouldn't you look around sometimes? I've been breathing down your back for a minute now. What if I were KGB agent preparing to stick a knife in you?
I know it's you, Stefan.
You completely ignore safety precautions. You go everywhere without protection. You openly expose yourself. You openly came to church state with your family. News like that spreads like wildfire everywhere. Why do you do that?
Today is a great Cossack holiday, the intercession.
I met an agent in Dusseldorf who was prepared to reveal the detail of a planned attack on you.
Interesting.
He's ready to talk for money.
I have no money. How much? Are you kidding? That's my family's annual budget.
The diaspora is willing to help.
Why pay for it when we already know? It's not news at all to me that the KGB spends its every minute seeking an opportunity to kill me. So let's not sponsor your Kremlin stew.
Then, on behalf of all Ukrainians, I implore you to leave Munich for a time. They will soon learn of the address of your conspiratorial apartment, and then you can go and stay with my mother-in-law in Weisbach. In the meantime, we will work on a new security system.
Greta, stop that! Greta, do you see she picked up a dead animal? Stop that, Greta! Give it to me!
Actress playing Bandera runs and disappears off stage.
Cut, sprint, prepare for the next scene.
Let's do another take, an alternate one.
Meaning what?
He agrees to pay the agent. That way, subsequent events will develop differently.
The script is based on real events. You know that, don't you?
But we're not shooting a documentary. We have the right to our own artistic interpretations. Let's imagine that he survived and continued on with his activity. With his help, he defeated the Soviet terror and gained independence from Ukraine. Let's say a 1970s.
Don't make me laugh. He was never a sufficiently influential figure to pose a real threat to the Soviet Union.
But they're still afraid of him and they use him to scare the whole world.
The fact that the Russians invented a horror story about him and sell it successfully all over the world has little to do with the reality. Like all Kremlin propaganda.
A troublemaker from the film crew shouts, "Who are we talking about?"
About Bandera! Who else?
A snowstorm whips up as soon as the name Bandera is heard. Kremlin chimes give off a sinister ring, and the Russian propagandist Vladimir Solovyov begins to howl.
Do you really have to talk all about all this? We have a different and difficult scene coming up. The murder of Bandera. You will be killed. Are you ready for that?
No. How can I be ready for that?
Go get ready.
Agitated, assistant director comes running.
The producer says to stop the shoot.
What the hell? We've already shot half the film.
We have a new concept. The film is now aimed at Europeans. There's no point in talking about Bandera. They won't remember anything else. We'll say the film is about him, that he collaborated with the Nazis, and then we'll start all over again. It will be distraction from our important conversation about the war. Keep your focus on the present. Stop asking for weapons, because that is violence. It's better to film about the victims of the war, only not men. Better about women and children. It's always good to talk about refugees, as long as they're women. Women always evoke pity, especially if you're young and raped. The plot should be simple, concise, and consistent. God forbid it should contain any postmodernism or absurdism. Keep your focus firmly on the present.
But how do we understand the present without the past?
1 second. The director says it's too difficult to understand the present without the past. Okay, I'll pass that on. The producer says it's even more difficult to understand the present by way of.
Let him do it himself then.
So do I prepare for the death scene or not?
Quiet on the set.
Director drops his walkie-talkie, his headphones, and leaves the sound place. All prepare to shoot the death scene. Some people do exercises, some pray, some write letters, some look for a partner for the last sex they'll ever have, etc. In line for kindness. A line to see social inspector in the relevant institution.
Next.
Cat lover sits at inspector's desk.
So, Ms. Rudenko? Your roommates complain about you.
Me? I don't drink. I don't smoke.
You are illegally sheltering 2 cats and 9 spitzes at a refugee shelter. All of your animals are undocumented.
No. They messed that all up. I have 5 cats, but no spitzes.
5 cats? Right here it's written 2 and 9.
I brought 2 cats here to Poland. Zuza, Barsik, and Karina stayed behind in Chernihiv. The volunteers refused to let me take the other animals.
Don't worry about that. What about the spitzes?
The spitzes are not mine, I swear. One bastard, a Canadian citizen, ran away and left us with the spitzes because they are no good for sale. They're not purebred. Why did my roommates think these were my spitzes? They know perfectly well that they belong to no one.
Maybe because you feed them, care for them, and pamper them. But you do it badly.
I'm so sorry, but there are so damn many of them. I spend my entire financial aid on them.
Why are you giving me all of this information? Are you trying to exert psychological pressure on me?
God forbid. I don't even know what that is.
You have no right to be in a shelter with so many animals. Some of the women have allergies, some have small children. You aren't able to keep them clean, they stink, they bark, they damage things.
It's the same with children.
You mean human children?
Yes, they ruin things. And everything else.
But that is entirely legal. This is a shelter for human beings.
I know. They told me that too. After they suggested I have them put to sleep. The animals.
And?
I agreed. I'm a former nurse, and I know how to do it. I have a few doses for all. For Mirka, Dorf, and for me. And for the Spitzes too. But first I have to go get Zuza, Varsik, and Karina. The neighbor who was looking after them in Ukraine, she died from old age. This is a rarity these days.
Where will the animals be all this time?
That's the problem. I asked my roommates to look after them while I'm in Ukraine. Then they complain to you about me. That probably means they won't want to take care of the animals.
Do you know who you are?
I don't know anything anymore.
You are a refugee. That means you must pass the test of trust every single day. And every one of your violations. But no, I can't talk to you. I'll call in my colleague because you. Adam, can you come in here? I simply can't answer for myself anymore. Adam can't come, so.
Forgive me. I'm sorry. I'm so grateful for everything you're doing for us. And I can imagine how difficult it must be. And how we have driven you all crazy.
Social inspector leans under the table as if looking for something. Sniffs, grumbles with displeasure. They pull out a piece of paper.
So, all right, here's an address. Take them here. The Spitzes and the cats.
Why?
They have to live somewhere.
Whose address is this?
Mine.
Yours!
Mine. Please, don't shout. So bring Zuza, Varsik, and Karina to me, and yourself too, to my place. Let's be together somehow. Stop crying. I'm at work. Go now. I said go now. Next.
Cat lover leaves, gratefully clutching the piece of paper with the address. Inspector begins sobbing as soon as the door closes behind cat lover. In line for a manicure. Actress, cat lover, housewife, and several foreigners wait in line for a manicure. Manicurist is pregnant. The news is on the TV screen.
I'm so happy for you. It's gorgeous here. Do you like it?
Yes, it's good here. I rent a separate room nearby. I send my daughter to kindergarten. I've got a lot of work. I even have regular customers now. How was the old game? Did anyone go back to Ukraine?
Oh, no. No one's going back now. All the more so because everyone has settled in here so well. I mean, you work in a very chic salon. The actress was invited to star in a TV series about refugees and was given a free place to live. The cat lover was kicked out of the shelter because of the animals, but she was taken in by a person from social services and she receives really good financial assistance. And I go to language courses and I found myself a good marriage partner.
Congratulations! One of ours or German?
You remember the blonde guy who gave me a ride from the shelter?
You had so many of that.
Well, look, he is German.
Why does he have a Russian flag on his ass?
Okay, well, it's like this. He has a Hitler guilt complex and so he loves Putin.
Is that doesn't that bother you?
Not at all. That's precisely why I chose him.
Manicurist and housewife share deeply knowing glances.
Look, he came for me himself. Oh, he's so caring. He takes care of my children as if they were his own. I said, I'll come by tramp, but he came to pick me up in his car. He'd be killing him softly.
Do you love him?
What did I say? Very much?
Let me help you off with that coat.
Helps housewife put on her coat so she doesn't smear her nail polish, which hasn't dried yet.
I'm wearing your dress, see? It's my lucky dress.
I'm very happy. Next.
Cat lover is next in line, followed by European woman.
I'm just sitting here. Go ahead.
European woman passes her and sits in front of manicurist.
Nail polish?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Color.
Right. That's, well, hold on, guys.
Nail polish?
Yes.
Color, you can choose while I work.
Manicurist gives her a chart with colors and starts filing her nails. European woman looks at her intently.
Russian women do manicures so well. We can't do it like that. I only go to Russian salons. Oh, sorry. Did I say Russian? I meant Ukrainian. I really can't believe that I said that. It's a bit of a blur. Honestly, I know it hurts to hear that.
No problem,
Sorry.
don't worry, please.
God, how embarrassing. And you even put me in these. We teach political correctness to the whole world, yet we allow ourselves such terrible mistakes. I watch your news constantly. Everything the Ukrainians are going through in the 21st century is our common fault. I mean, we kept silent for so long. We closed our eyes and the war started a long time ago.
Have you chosen your color?
I don't even know. I want something red.
On the TV screen, we see the famous photo of freshly polished nails on the hand of a woman murdered in Bucha. Manicurist looks at the hand with a professional eye.
This was my client.
What?
I did her nails right before the invasion. She used to come to me all the time. Very nice woman. She left very good tips.
Is this that color?
No, this one. Very long lasting. You want that?
Yes, I like it.
It's a classic, always in style.
You're right. Beauty will save the world, as Dostoevsky said. May I have some coffee without sugar? I often wonder if our men would go defend France if it were attacked. No, they wouldn't. Why die? What else are diplomats and politicians for? I mean, you can always negotiate. In war, two sides are always to blame. The world has gone mad. I'm so afraid to be alive. I grew up listening to your music. I learned Russian and I adored Dostoevsky. And he's the one who said, I will not and cannot believe that evil is the normal condition of mankind. Oh, you got me.
I have never cut anybody.
But there's blood here, look.
That's not blood. Don't make that up. I know what blood looks like.
I'm a nurse. Let me look. That's not blood. What are you making up?
Well, it tastes like blood.
Oh, give me your hand. I'll take a look.
European woman yanks her hand away.
Oh. Well, thank you. Don't worry about it. You surely know better about blood.
Do you want it with or without nail polish?
Without.
European woman leaves.
Are you next?
No, I'm just sitting here in line. A woman took the place in line behind me. I'll let her skip me. She says she is your regular customer.
A ghostly woman enters with a twisted neck and matted hair in place of a face. She sets her dirty, skinny hands on the table, which the manicurist fears to touch.
Beauty will save the world. There's a line in everything which it is dangerous to overstep. And when it has been overstepped, there is no return. Happiness is not to be found in happiness, but only in the pursuing of it. Whoever wants to be useful may do great good, even with hands tied. There is no happiness in comfort. Happiness is attained through suffering. The Russian people seem to enjoy their suffering. My friend, remember that silence is good, safe, and beautiful. Beauty will save the world.
In line for water. Actress sits before producer against the backdrop of one of the most beautiful fountains in Budapest. Cat lover may sit nearby because she always waits in line so as to not be alone. Water murmurs gently, but at some moments, the gurgle becomes very loud and intrusive, interfering with normal communication. Then people must shout.
You like it here?
Very much so. I'm very grateful to you for everything.
It's nothing. There's nothing to thank me for.
Why do you say that? You gave me your home, you gave me a job, you've introduced me to such beautiful places.
Such trivial things, stop it.
Trivial, you gave me the lead in your series.
Because you are very talented.
You are too kind. Yes, you are.
The conversation reaches a dead end.
The sound of that fountain, so soothing. You'd never know there was a war going on somewhere.
You like the sound of that fountain?
Yes, I do. Thank you for arranging our meeting here.
And the roads, do you like our roads?
Oh, the roads are great.
Have you noticed how low the level of corruption and crime is here?
Of course I have.
And the social benefits?
I don't receive them, but I can imagine.
Do you like the way that the trade union defends your rights? I mean, the way they cut several points from your contract for your benefit, not mine.
But I think I agreed to all your conditions.
You did, but they didn't. I'm proud of our trade unions because they care about the rights of our community.
Yes, that really is.
And our laws. They work. The state really cares about that.
Actress is silent.
But by the way, we pay for the house you live in, and we maintain it with the money we receive from the state. The state also provides the jobs for Ukrainians. My husband's in my company can hire people.
Our roads are not as bad as you think in Ukraine.
Really?
Yours are better naturally.
Then why?
What?
Why do you criticize our state?
Me,
No, me,
Helga? Where can I get a drink of water around here?
you live so peacefully. You came and I wanted to share this good life with you, but
I don't understand. You mean that TV interview?
you understand everything pretty well. And I arranged that interview to promote our series, not for you to criticize our government.
But I'm in a democratic society, right?
You are a refugee. Refugees are people who ask for help, sit quietly and keep their mouths shut. They are refugees. They have no rights. They have nothing left. That's why we don't need a revolution. If you don't like the country you came to, why did you come to it? Why not stay in your beautiful Ukraine where bombs are falling? You ruined your life. Why have you come to your own place?
I simply said that Russian soldiers kill Ukrainian children and rape women, and that your president is a friend of Putin, and you silently support that.
You said this as a representative of my project, which receives state funding.
I didn't think it mattered. May I have some water, please?
This is not your business to condemn our silence. This is our personal matter. We are not experiencing war, and this is a much bigger achievement than all of yours.
I didn't know about your fears. I didn't think about it. I'm sorry.
We have no fears. We don't do anything that would make us fear the authorities. But why constantly draw attention to yourself? Why destroy our peace? This is politics. And we are ordinary people who just want to live well. I deny myself nothing. I have my own production company, and I can make movies about anything I want, about Ukrainian refugees, for example. If we live well, we will help you too. You will come receive our various bonuses, which is also good for you. Instead, you come here and start muddying the waters.
No, I just want us to work together to end this war.
I can end this war, but I cannot end it because I did not start it. You are very unhappy that you have inserted yourselves into this. All of you, you should just stand by quietly. Why do you do this? You speak out, you go to rallies. Why do you take such an active position? Why do you anger Putin? Your children are being killed.
I am not silent precisely because they are being killed.
But that's why you're being killed. Oh, be quiet.
They are silent.
Some water, please.
Why did you put those children's shoes from Mariupol on display near our famous monument? My husband was offended. He is a Hungarian Jew and does not want the victims of Mariupol to be mixed in with the tragedy of the Danube. Those are very different tragedies.
How are they different? Because the Ukrainians angered Putin and the Jews angered Hitler? Why did they do that? Ask your husband. We are being killed just as his relatives were killed. 80 years have passed and no one thought this could ever happen again, but it is happening. And do you know why? It's not because we're so active. It's because you've fallen silent again. You can't remain silent when someone else is being wiped out. We're all silent once too. When the war started in Georgia, when they bombed Syria,
What you say is news to me.
and I know everything you will say. I'm sick and tired of you all. I just want to wake up in my bed in the neighborhood of Kiev.
You know, my husband thinks you work for Zelensky, that you are an agent.
Astonishment. Pause.
We simply don't understand why you get so worked up over democracy. It must be that you're paid too. Tell me, is this your job?
Please.
Drink water from the tap. Our tap water is very good, you know that, right?
Yes, your water tastes very good. Why don't you fill your mouth with it and keep it shut? Quit muddying the waters.
She falls into the fountain and drowns. In line for borscht. Clean, clear water boils in a pot. Housewife tosses fried beetroots into it. The water turns red.
I never cook borscht when Hans is home. Sorry to explain. It's a very intimate process. He loves to cook and he asks me about everything to teach him how to make the borscht. So we agreed that when he goes on a business trip, I'll teach him how to cook over Skype.
Hans appears on screen. There is a pro-Russian symbol on his avatar.
May I record?
Record it or don't record it, you still won't get borscht like mine.
They laugh.
So look, chop the beets, carrots, and onions finely, then stew them in tomato paste for 40 minutes to an hour. My late husband liked the pork to be fatty. I like it with beans. What about you?
Do it the way you like.
He is so good, Hans. He says, do as you like. No one ever told me to do that before. While it's simmering, peel the potatoes and chop the cabbage. You can use bell pepper, prunes, and if you're in Ukraine, fresh tomatoes. Because your tomatoes aren't very good. Then you combine all this with boiled beans and stewed dressing and you simmer it on a low heat for at least an hour. At the end, you add garlic and greens. By tomorrow, it will be properly steeped. By the time you get here, it will be delicious.
So what is the secret?
Much secret, there's no secret.
Why doesn't mine taste as good as yours? I've been taught by several Ukrainian women. You aren't the first.
Well, I just don't know about that. Maybe the secret is in the dill.
No, you're hiding something.
Enough of that. Tell me, how's the weather in Brussels?
It's sunny with an easterly wind.
It's raining here in Munich.
How are the kids? Are they settling in?
All's good. He's so caring, Hans. I've really been lucky. Yeah, the kids are great. The young one always has his nose in his tablet. The middle one is still in kindergarten. She really likes it there, but she doesn't like it that no one understands her. The oldest one came home from school yesterday in tears. She has a support Ukraine pin on her cap. 2 German boys shoved her and shouted, "We support Putin. Putin is cool." She's crying now, begging me to let her go home to Ukraine. And I tell her, "Calm down, sweetheart. It's bad in Ukraine now, but it's good here." There are 1 or 2 guys like that, but the rest are very supportive of us. I tell her, "You should explain to them how the Russians killed your father and what happened to our apartment block and when a shell hit it, and they'll understand everything, and they won't do that anymore." So, yeah, I calmed her down. And then I headed straight for where those boys lived. I waited for them to come home, and I pounded their faces into the asphalt. I could not stop until I drew blood. Then I walked into their house, and they were all watching Russian television. I grabbed a bat, and I smashed their TV. Then I went for their parents and twisted them into pretzels, locked them in the basement, and threw away the key. Then I set off a nonstop air raid alarm. Then I went to the Stoltz, pushed him up against the wall, and he said, "When are you going to give us those tanks?" He says, "Calm down, Nina, I'll give them to you, I'll give them to you." It was so bad that 4 men had to hold me back. Even now I'm shaking as I imagine all this.
Nina, I got it.
What?
Your borscht secret. It's anger.
What anger? What secret? What are you talking about?
The meaner the hostess, the tastier the borscht.
There is no secret. Nonsense.
There is, and now I know it.
Why don't you tell me why you still haven't changed your avatar? I've asked you to, Hans. I warned you.
I'll change. Sorry, my love, I just forgot. I was busy.
How could you forget?
So much work. I have to deliver a report by the end of the week.
So much work, Hans. So much work. Why do you test me? Do you want me to kill you?
Wait, no. I'll remove it. I just need some time. It's not as simple a solution as it seems at first glance, but I'm almost ready to do it.
I am too.
She clicks block, delete, complain, all the possible options. She acts out a ritual, a virtual murder of Hans. She's very angry, very tired. After all that, she exhales, tosses garlic and greens into the borscht. She looks down at her huge pot of borscht.
Who's gonna eat this borscht now? It'll just go to waste. I cooked so much. And it turned out really good, better than it ever has.
One by one, refugees enter with their suitcases from the first scene.
God, it smells good in here, just like my mom's house, like that lake.
Come in, we will remember everyone.
Housewife ladles out borscht for everyone. All sit as if out of wait, and silently eat borscht. Someone cries. Their suitcases look like coffins. In Line for Death 3. Shooting a film about Leontovych, Teliha, and the Ukrainian Republic of Pamplin. December 1922. Leontovych, looking like a homeless person, is dressed in an old coat with a hat made of an old blanket on his head and mittens on his hands. Black and gray pants with large purple patches. Nadiia, his student, looks on with sympathy and surprise at how greedily and crudely he eats a bowl of borscht.
My God, Mykola Dimitrovich, Maestro, I can't believe it's you. I would never imagine you without a tie. And your manners. The last time we saw each other was when you were surrounded by admirers at the conservatory in Kiev, when Petrua was in charge.
Careful. The Ukrainian People's Republic has been destroyed, you know. First the Reds entered Kiev, now the Whites, both of them prey on the Ukrainian intelligentsia. My neighbor, the artist, Marashka, was killed. The poets Chuma and Suchenko. So I walked 350 kilometers from Kiev to Tulchin to come to you.
Why not go to Lemberg? You came in the wrong direction. You should have gone west, but you came east.
The only thing that gives my life meaning is working with you on our own. Let me finish eating, then we'll discuss the libretto.
What libretto? Do you know the Ukrainian Republic of Pella has been touring Europe with your work for 3 years now and is having great success? Vienna, London, Geneva, Warsaw. Right now they're performing in Paris. Your music is met with ovations and enthusiasm. Your Little Swallow has become a popular Christmas hymn. It is receiving standing ovations. Why are you here and not with them? You are a European celebrity. Don't let Petrulia arrange protection for you.
Don't say that name out loud. I'm here because I cannot finish my opera without you.
You can find another librettist there. Please go save yourself and your children.
I try. May I have seconds?
Fortunately, no. There's a famine everywhere.
All right. Thanks to the patronage of someone we will not name, I got tickets for the Warsaw train. But before leaving, I had to perform a concert for soldiers, and I forgot my briefcase with the tickets on the piano. The tickets disappeared, and I was immediately searched, checked, and interrogated. Now they'll probably kill me. Are you sure there's not another bowl of pork?
No, why would you wait to be killed? You must escape. There's nothing left of the Ukrainian Republic but the Ukrainian Republic Capella. It is the only thing Ukrainian that Europe has supported. Your music. Get out of here and join the Capella. You can work there and preserve Ukrainian culture for future generations. That should be your mission. It is definitely better than dying ingloriously here.
So you think they might not kill me after all? Fortunately, you can't know the future.
In the next scene, the Czechist Afansi Hirosika will shoot you point blank in your parents' house in the early morning.
In my house?
Yes!
Listen, that's not so bad. To die where you were born and not be tormented by the guilt of running away? They can bury me right in the yard, under the cherry tree, instead of looking for a place somewhere between the Germans and the Poles. My parents will be comforted, because they will know where their son is.
They would be happy to know you are alive somewhere.
Why all these empty promises? Petliar will be killed in a few years in Paris by Samuel Schwarzbart, when the Bolsheviks hired, as if in revenge for the Jewish pogroms that Petliar never organized. On the contrary, he called on Ukrainians to protect Jews from the Bolshevik pogroms. I wonder what he felt during those few arbitrary years of life in exile. Happiness because he'd saved his skin, or despair and longing? Maybe he was just waiting for that Samuel to show up. It's not wasting precious time. Get to work on our libretto.
Nadiia sighs, removes the empty plate, takes out paper and sheet music. The Ukrainian Republic Capella sings Leontovych's famous Little Swallow in Paris, performed by the rest of the actors.
Cut! Print it! Well done.
But those last lines weren't in the script.
We can cut them.
All begin leaving silently.
So don't you want to say anything? Discuss anything? Where are you going?
Home to prepare for the next scene.
The 25th frame, they occasionally show a frame from the film Home Alone, where Leontovych's music is employed, and where the main character speaks the famous line, "This is my house, I have to defend it." Limestein frame 2. December 2022, Christmas. A customs office between Ukraine and Europe. Women stand in line, but this time they are headed in the opposite direction, to Ukraine. It's cold and gray. Mood is festive. Housewife stands with a coffin for burying. Manicurist is pregnant for giving birth. Cat lover stands holding empty animal cages for rescues. Actress resembles Mila Jovovich, holding a Fifth Element portable Zenit anti-aircraft missile launcher in her hands for protection. Other stray people returning to Ukraine.
Next,
Housewife approaches.
what's in your coffin?
Private things. Mine, my children's, my husband's. I bought him all new stuff. From underpants to a tie, although he probably should be buried in his military uniform, but they said there was so little left of him, so nothing is needed at all. He'll be buried in a closed coffin. I bought it at a discount because just before that, I bought a coffin for a German acquaintance through the same company.
Go ahead. Next,
Actress approaches.
I've never seen you here before.
I'm Mila Jovovich, Hollywood star.
Is this your first visit to Ukraine?
No, I was born in Kyiv a long time ago.
Purpose of your visit?
I can no longer stand idle when there's a war raging in my homeland. I'm going to create and lead a Hollywood battalion and bring in my humanitarian aid.
Is this humanitarian aid?
Very humanitarian.
May I have your autograph?
Yes, you may.
With us.
Cat lover approaches.
I'm sorry, but I can't let you back in with your Soviet passport.
I just want to retrieve my cats and go back to Europe. I left Mirka North and 9 Spetzes back there. I give you my word. I can leave my passport with you.
Okay, going through.
Oh, look at those dogs. Hey, is this our old friends?
Canadian citizen is leaving Ukraine with Spitzes. Cat lover is the first to recognize him. Canadian citizen gives them a friendly wave.
You have no idea how much has happened to me. But no one is interested in my story because I'm a man. I'm liable to be drafted.
How was your trip, friend?
It was my 40th. I'm done. I will sell them and pay off my entire debt.
Good luck.
All look at Manicurist in surprise.
Did I say that? I wanted to say, get the hell out of here. But something held me back. My pregnancy probably. But for the past 9 months, I've been texting with a classmate from Bukta. And turned out I was pregnant. We agreed I would come back and give birth to a Ukrainian for him. This very idea makes me comfortable.
Go through, all of you. No need to wait in line.
European woman catches up with them.
I was ashamed of our last conversation. I thought a long time about our guilt and responsibility, and I finally understand your categorical attitude and your rebellion against Russian culture and its imperial narrative. I even gave away tickets I had to a Russian play. Although, why are the classics to blame? Like, why cancel Rachmaninoff and Tchaikovsky, Tolstoy and Dosto? It's very important to talk about it. To organize a dialogue between Ukrainian and Russian artists, an intellectual discussion about a common future. Let's finally figure things out. They are also victims of their regime. The good ones, of course. I can't believe I'm telling you this again, but I myself can't help myself. I need to change the hardware. Someone close my mouth.
What's in your bag?
Tactical gloves, thermal underwear, medicine, and weapons.
You may pass.
Everyone goes through customs, and the line falls apart. There are no longer any line barriers. Everyone freely breathes their native air. A flock of birds flies across the sky, also in the direction of Ukraine.
You feel that? The air is different here. The air is different at home. It smells of smoke.
We're returning, and the wild geese are returning to Ukraine. Look how beautiful they fly. The wild geese are flying. That's strange.
It's winter. They should be flying in the other direction, from Ukraine to warmer countries.
Because those are not geese. They're Iranian drones bringing bombs to Ukraine from Russia. They're going to drop them on living people.
Oh my God. Where is Europe looking?
All look at the European woman.
Oh, the wild geese are flying. I'm with you. What's wrong?
Actress, meanwhile, takes out her anti-aircraft missile launcher, aims it and fires it at a drone. It explodes in the air. The smoke ball hangs in the air for a long time. All applaud.
Hey, look, isn't that our bus? It looks like ours. Let's run. Take our seats.
They sent a spaceship.
By the time it arrives, we'll all be home.
Come with us. Why don't you?
No.
We're all used to you by now.
Follow my own path.
All run to bus except actress, who stays behind to shoot down drones. Enter customs collector director.
Are you prepared for the next scene?
I'm preparing.
There you go. Let's end today on a positive note. But tomorrow, all prepare for the next scene.
The end.
Thanks so much for joining us in here and on the internet. And this concludes our program for this afternoon. Please consider donating to the Ukrainian Crisis Relief Fund. Thank you all. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for coming.